kuri uyu munsi nabwo bari gukomeze kuganira ku bijyanye n'iri koranabuhanga ridaheza muri urwego rw'imari. Mugenzi wanjye Adams Kwizera, waramutse neza. Ku munsi w'ejo wari hano ndetse wakurikiye ibiganiro bitandukanye. Wenda reka duhere ku kiganiro cyagarutse ku bijyanye no kubaka ibikorwa remezo bijyanye n'ikoranabuhanga. Icyuho kirangana gite ku buryo ari ikiganiro byabaye ngombwa yuko batindaho?
Urakoze cyane Gloria, nk'uko ubivuze ndetse n'abadukurikiye mu makuru yacu y'ejo. Iki kiganiro cyahurije hamwe abayobozi bakuru za banki z'ibihugu by'umwihariko bo kuri uyu mugabane wa Afurika, aho bareberaga hamwe bimwe mu byo bigihari mu ikoranabuhanga mu rwego rw'imari. Ahangaha bagaragaje ko ibikorwa remezo ariyo nkingi ya mwamba kugira ngo ibyo byuho bibe byazibwa, cyane ko bagaragaje ko kuri uyu mugabane wa Afurika haracyari ibyuho binini. Navuga ko muri uru rwego rw'imari bikeneye kuzibwa, harimo kutagira ibikorwa remezo bihagije ndetse no kuba hari benshi mu baturage b'uyu mugabane batarumva neza icyo ikoranabuhanga mu rwego rw'imari rivuze. No kuvuga ngo ubumenyi budahagije nabwo ni imwe mu nzitizi ikigaragara kuri uyu mugabane wa Afurika mu rwego rw'imari, ariko by'umwihariko yifashishije ikoranabuhanga.
Hanyuma nanone kandi mu biganiro byagarutsweho ku munsi w'ejo muri iyi nama, hagarutswe ku kijyanye no kuba hakwigishwa abakiri bato gukoresha iri koranabuhanga mu rwego rw'imari. Uyu munsi ku mugabane wa Afurika turabizi yuko navuga ko ari umugabane uriho urubyiruko rwinshi. Ese rurakitinye mu gukoresha iri koranabuhanga mu rwego rw'imari?
Yego, ntabwo navuga ko rukitinye, ahubwo ubundi baravuga ngo ibintu byose bihera ku muzi. Iyo abato batangiye gutozwa ibijyanye n'ikoranabuhanga by'umwihariko noneho mu rwego rw'imari, ni bimwe mu bishobora gutanga icyizere ku hazaza h'umugabane muri urwo rwego. Ibi ni nabyo bagarutseho, ndetse na Minisitiri w'Uburezi ibi yabigarutseho, agaragaza ko kimwe mu by'uyu mugabane wa Afurika ukeneye kuri ubu ngubu ari ugutoza aba bakiri bato kumva neza icyo iri koranabuhanga ribamariye, ndetse no kumva neza ko aribo babifite mu biganza mu myaka iri imbere, mu bihe biri imbere, cyane ko nimba tuvuga ko hazaza h'umugabane muri gahunda yawo ya 2063 ntago ari bikwiye gutangira ejo cyangwa ejo bundi, ni bikwiye gutangira ubu ngubu.
Hanyuma Adams, mu kindi cyagarutsweho ku munsi w'ejo, hanagarutswe ku bijyanye n'iri soko rusange rya Afurika, hagarukwa ku ikoranabuhanga mu buhahirane muri Afurika. Ni izihe ngingo zibanzwe?
Ingingo zibanzweho Gloria, ubuhahirane ku rwego rw'isi ahanini tumaze kubona ko ruri kwifashisha ikoranabuhanga. Umugabane wa Afurika ntago ari ukwiye gusigara, cyane ko nimba turi kuvuga isoko rusange Afurika CFTA rikwiye kujyana n'ikoranabuhanga rikoreshwamo, kuko nimba kuri ubu ngubu dushobora gukorana ubucuruzi hagati y'u Rwanda, wenda tuvuge na Ghana, kuko ari naho duherutse koherezayo na bimwe mu bicuruzwa byacu bya hano mu Rwanda. Uburyo bwo kwishyurana ntabwo tuzategereza yuko wowe w'umucuruzi uzafata indege ujye kwishyuza ujye muri Ghana. Byagakwiye kuba mu buryo bw'ikoranabuhanga, ndetse ari nabyo tugaruka hahandi kuri ya ngingo ya mbere y'ibikorwa remezo mu rwego rw'ikoranabuhanga, no kumva neza uruhare rwa za guverinoma mu gushyiraho ibyo bikorwa remezo byorohereza abashoramari, abacuruzi kuba bakohererezanya amafaranga, bakwishyurana, bagakora ubwo buhahirane turi kuvuga Afurika ikeneye muri iyi gahunda yo gushyira mu bikorwa isoko rusange nyafurika.
Adams, twize gukomoza ku kijyanye no kwigisha abakiri bato gukoresha iri koranabuhanga muri urwego rw'imari, ariko nanone hari ikindi kibazo gikunze kugarukaho kijyanye n'umutekano w'imari mu ikoranabuhanga. Iki nacyo ni kimwe mu gituma hari bamwe mu bashaka kuba bati burya amafaranga nayo mfite ari kuri banki yanjye, ugasanga rero hamwe mu bihugu bimwe na bimwe kubera bya bikorwa remezo, ariko nanone no kuvuga ngo iyo haje ikiza nk'iki cy'ikoranabuhanga, nanone abashobora kwinjiriramo cyangwa se abo twita abashobora kuba bayobya ya mafaranga nabo bariyongera. Umutekano w'ikoranabuhanga muri uru rwego wo uhagaze ute?
umutekano w'ikoranabuhanga muri uru rwego ni ikintu cy'ingenzi kandi kizanibandwaho cyane muri iyi nama, cyane ko hari n'ibiganiro bizahuza abahanga mu by'ikoranabuhanga.
His Excellency Paul Kagame, the President of the Republic of Rwanda. Thank you, sir, and it's wonderful to see you. Once again, a very warm welcome to His Excellency Paul Kagame, the President of the Republic of Rwanda. And ladies and gentlemen, a very grand welcome to the Inclusive FinTech Forum 2025. We have waited a long time for this, absolutely. My name is Sharonjit Lail, and I am thrilled to be back in beautiful Kigali as I was here for the inaugural session of the Inclusive FinTech Forum, and how wonderful to celebrate with you all once again today. Now, this year we are focusing on empowering economic inclusion through accelerated technology adoption and emerging markets. Of course, this incredible forum has been brought to you with the hard work and collaboration from the Kigali International Financial Center, the National Bank of Rwanda, and the Global Finance and Technology Network, or GFTN. We have, of course, amongst us heads of government, policymakers, business leaders, entrepreneurs, investors, fintechs, financial institutions, regulators, of course, all coming together to engage and discuss best practices. Our aim at the Inclusive FinTech Forum is to drive confidence, adoption, and growth of transformative technologies to enable economic inclusions right here in Africa and the world. Now, without further ado, I would like to invite onto the stage the first speaker for today to give you a warm welcome. He is none other than the Chief Executive Officer of the Rwanda Finance Limited, Nick Barije.
Your Excellency, Paul Kagame, President of the Republic of Rwanda, Your Excellency, Wamukele Mene, Secretary General, Africa Continental Free Trade Area Secretariat, Honorable Ministers, Governors of Central Bank, industry leaders, innovators, and change makers, good morning. It is both an honor and a privilege for me to welcome you to the second edition of the Inclusive FinTech Forum. I also wish to extend our gratitude to Your Excellency, President Paul Kagame, for gracing us with your presence and for your visionary leadership and commitment to driving and championing innovation in Rwanda and beyond. At Kigali International Financial Center, we are committed to building a financial ecosystem that is agile, that is resilient, and that is forward-looking. To our partners, policymakers, industry leaders, pioneers of FinTech, I want to invite you to be part of this journey. I want to invite you to invest in Rwanda, to invest across the region, while using Kigali International Financial Center. As always, Kigali International Financial Center stands ready to support and collaborate. As we continue to work together, however, let us remember that financial inclusion is not just a goal, it is a responsibility. Together, we have the power to create a future where financial services are accessible, are dependable, are affordable and empowering to all. I once again want to welcome you to Kigali and to this forum. I look forward to the conversations that we continue to have, and I hope you will make time to visit this beautiful country. Murakoze cyane. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nigbarije, for that very, very warm welcome. Now, we have our first keynote, which is all about empowering economic inclusion, something Nick just talked about, through advanced technologies right here in Africa. And this plenary really highlights Africa's immense potential, we know, as one of the fastest growing regions globally, driven by lots of people like yourself, the youthful entrepreneurs with their great spirit. It explores how FinTech, empowered by advancements in AI and digital assets, can revolutionize financial services and foster economic inclusion and drive sustainable growth. From Singapore, please welcome my fellow countryman, the Minister of State, Alvin Tan, from the Ministries of Trade and Industry and Culture, Community and Youth, and a board member and director at GFTN. Welcome, Minister of State.
Your Excellency, President Paul Kagame, Your Excellency and my friend, Secretary General Wamkali Meni, Honorable Ministers, Central Bank Governors, ladies and gentlemen, friends, a very good morning to all of you. It's truly wonderful to be back in beautiful Kigali. And this year is a significant year for both Singapore and Rwanda. In fact, we celebrate 20 years of diplomatic relations between both our countries. And our friendship is deep, and our friendship is enduring. Our leaders have deep respect for one another. President Kagame, I had the opportunity to host you in Singapore a few years ago, and you have met with many of our leaders over the last 2 decades, including during your recent trip to Singapore last year. And our governments have worked very well together in areas such as sustainability, FinTech, technical cooperation, trade, tourism, and other areas. I shared with President Kagame earlier on that I've had really productive meetings with your ministers, including Minister Paula, who's here today with us, Minister Valentine, Minister Prudence, just earlier this morning, and of course, Central Bank Governor John as well. And we are already following up on the many issues that we've discussed, including on digital and technological cooperation, as well as carbon credits. So a variety of things that we have discussed, and in true Singapore and Rwanda form, we will follow up. And our people are friends. I have a very good friend in Rwanda whom I have kept in touch with for many years since we were graduate school students in the US. I visited her and her family here in Kigali in 2011, and we have kept in close touch since. In fact, we had a dinner with a young Singaporean working here in Rwanda who is here with us today as well, and who tells me that she and other Singaporeans living in Rwanda love living here and love working here. Our businesses too have a very strong working relationship. Singaporean companies are investing in Rwanda, and more are here this week to explore more business opportunities. Some have told me they have very productive meetings with President Kagame and your cabinet, and are looking forward to following up on many of the ideas that you have discussed. And Singapore and Rwanda respect and admire each other. Rwanda is sometimes referred to as the Singapore of Africa. And on our end, we admire and respect Rwanda for your grit, your resilience, and your outstanding achievements in economic and technological development. We also admire your natural beauty. In fact, we have built a rainforest attraction in Singapore called Rwanda Nyungwe Forest, the heart of Africa. We don't have quite your size, but we have a small one, and we call it the Heart of Africa. It is, of course, modeled after Nongwe National Park, and it's in partnership with Rwanda. So Singaporeans, including my children who have visited the Heart of Africa, can have a taste of Rwanda back home in Singapore. And it is in this spirit of building bridges that my team and I are here today, organizing the second edition of the IFF together with you. And we are doing this because we believe, like the suspension bridge that we've modeled in Singapore after the bridge at Nongwe National Park, there are many parallels we can draw from and many lessons we can learn from one another, including in the areas of FinTech and finance. Ladies and gentlemen, over the past decade, we have nurtured a thriving FinTech ecosystem in Singapore. Today, we are proud to host over 1,400 FinTech firms, including 12 unicorns. You'll be familiar with names such as Neum, Bolttech, and Advanced Intelligence Groups, which are now household names in our industry. Collectively, our FinTech firms have raised over $15.4 billion across 1,700 deals in the past decade. Thank you. And even while 2024 was a difficult year for fundraising, our FinTech sector has shown resilience, raising over $1.8 billion over 121 deals. And it's not just about our startups. We also welcome over 30 innovation labs to Singapore. And many of these now serve as global research and development hubs for their parent companies. The progress of our FinTech landscape represents what we can accomplish if we are deliberate, and we deliberately and carefully nurture and support innovation. At the same time, there is also plenty to admire in Africa and plenty to learn from Africa. Africa is a unique continent and in a remarkable era, an era that will define the future of your vast continent. With a projected GDP growth of 4.2% this year, Africa is the world's second fastest growing region. And Africa's greatest asset is your youth. 70% of Africa's population is under 30 years old, something Singapore can only envy with our aging population. Concomitantly, Africa also brims with entrepreneurial energy and innovation. And you have the highest female entrepreneurial activity in the world, at 24%. I think that is cause for celebration. And the prospects for financial services and FinTech in Africa are bright. Both traditional financial services and FinTech revenue has grown 8% on average per annum over the last 5 years. And FinTech revenue alone has the potential to reach $65 billion in 5 years. It is possible if Africa's FinTech penetration reach rises from the current 5 to 6% to 15%. And with a large unbanked population of 300 million, FinTechs have plenty to offer the African community. But there are some headwinds. First, persistent macroeconomic challenges that can hinder growth. Second, a difficult capital raising environment, quite like what we saw in Asia last year. Capital inflows have largely fallen substantially from the peak of 2021. Last year, private investments in FinTech funding in Africa fell by 45%. Third, there's a challenge of finding tech and product-related talent. Over 80% of executives in Africa find it moderately or very difficult to hire talent. And fourth, as we discussed this morning, FinTechs continue to also face regulatory complexities. But I believe that with everyone here, we can overcome these challenges. How? Well, by building partnerships between policymakers, capital providers, technologists, and founders, many of you who are present here and made the journey here today. Last October, the Monetary Authority of Singapore established GFTN, the Global Finance and Technology Network, which was formerly known as Elevandi to many of you who are familiar. GFTN's mission is to connect people, connect ideas, and to connect capital. GFTN connects people by serving as a global platform, convening stakeholders in forums just like IFF to address pressing issues and harness cutting-edge technology. And GFTN has also expanded its scope to also connect ideas. It now offers comprehensive global advisory services to support countries in the Global South as they develop robust national and sectoral FinTech ecosystems. But in addition to connecting people and connecting ideas, GFTN will also connect capital. By launching a venture investment arm, GFTN plans to invest in FinTech and sustainable technology, aligning financial advancements with environmental consciousness. So, by connecting people, connecting ideas, connecting capital, GFTN is positioned to accelerate the development and adoption of transformative technology solutions in the global financial landscape. And GFTN is here in Africa, walking the talk. In a few moments, we will launch an ambitious project to shape Africa's next generational foundational digital public infrastructure by harnessing cutting-edge digital technology to transform and to drive this transformation that we all are keen to do so. This project will identify gaps in existing payment systems, particularly cross-border payments. It aims to build system enhancement specifications, coordinate implementation roadmaps, and provide policy inputs for cross-border payment governance and operational matters. It will develop governance and scheme rules for cross-border transfers, including dispute resolution, liability coverage, system-level agreements, and also the settlement of FX. It will develop funding sources to facilitate CAPEX for base upgrades, and it will implement a pricing strategy with two segments to cater to low-value and high-value transfers, and this will ensure commercial viability of payments connectivity. Now, thank you. And with this initiative, we believe that Africa can set a new standard for digital payments to unlock financial inclusion, catalyze FinTech, accelerate economic integration, and drive sustainable growth. Your Excellencies, our dear friends, in an increasingly fragmented world, we have the opportunity to build bridges, address infrastructure gaps, harmonize regulations, and work together across borders and sectors. Because as Nick mentioned earlier on, only by doing so can we harness the immense potential of FinTech to transform Africa's financial landscape and build a more inclusive, efficient, and robust financial ecosystem that truly serves all Africans. Now with that, I thank you all for working with us on this remarkable platform that we call the Inclusive FinTech Forum. And just as you have continuously welcomed all of us and Singapore to Africa, we too would like to welcome all of you to our island nation to work together to build these bridges between our nations and between our regions. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Minister of State Alvin Tan, for those really insightful words. And as a Singaporean myself, I am so thrilled that Rwanda is described as Singapore of Africa. How wonderful. Now, to tell you a little bit more about the Inclusive FinTech Forum and what you're in store for, let's watch this exciting video.
Welcome to Kigali, Rwanda, a city at the forefront of Africa's FinTech revolution. Here, where innovation meets opportunity, the world gathers to unlock the power of technology for global economic inclusion. Financial inclusion means access for all, individuals and businesses, at an affordable price to essential financial products and services, such as payments, savings, credit, and insurance. This is not just about accessing services, but doing so responsibly and sustainably. Economic inclusion goes a step further. It's about creating an economy for everyone, regardless of gender, race, birthplace, or any circumstance beyond their control. An inclusive economy ensures that everyone, especially the poor and marginalized, have equitable access to economic opportunities. A truly inclusive economy for all. Africa has made remarkable strides in recent years. Account ownership has more than doubled, smartphone ownership has surged, and the skills gap is narrowing. But significant challenges remain. Women in the informal economy earn significantly less than their formal counterparts, and half of the population remains unbanked or underbanked. Additionally, 450 million people lack legal identification, and the gender gap in account ownership is twice the average of developing economies. These gaps are not just statistics, they represent real barriers to progress. But there's a way forward. By harnessing technology through digital infrastructure, instant payment systems, digital assets, and AI, we can bridge these gaps. The Inclusive FinTech Forum 2025 is a platform to expedite the development of policies and partnerships. This year, we'll explore critical questions. How can we protect consumers through refined regulatory frameworks? How can we build a more interconnected payment system? How can we invigorate partnerships to scale financial services? And how can African markets adopt new technologies while ensuring a secure and stable financial environment? As we embark on this journey together, let's seize the opportunity to drive innovation, foster collaboration, and unlock the potential of FinTech to empower the underserved and fuel economic growth. Welcome to the Inclusive FinTech Forum 2025, where we are shaping the future of FinTech today.
Well, there you have it. Just some of the very exciting and insightful themes that we will be discussing over the next 2 days. And next up, just to illustrate how crucial inclusive FinTech is, we have an inspirational speaker who'll tell us just why it's so important. Now, she started Zambia's trailblazing microfinance FinTech platform that's really transformed access to financial services to the marginalized, to SMEs, as you heard there in that video. She was also voted Woman CEO of the Year and Supernova Champion. Please welcome Evelyn Chaigu of Lupia. Evelyn.
Good morning, Your Excellency, President Kagame, all protocols observed. My name is Evelyn Kaingu, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Lupia, an AI-powered Pan-African neobank that is providing access to finance for small businesses and individuals. When my co-founder and I started Lupia in 2016, we had just come out of a failed business simply because we could not access a loan because we did not have collateral. We went to the informal market. Those interest rates were too exorbitant for us to turn a profit. It became very apparent to us that so many small businesses in Africa were facing the same problem. So we've realized that 65% of the adult population is still exclusive from formal financial services. And out of that demographic, 70% of it is women. It still takes up to 3 weeks for a small business to access a loan. And because majority of these transactions happen in cash, it is still very difficult to credit score a small business. So with just $500, my co-founder and I set out on this bold ambition to build the next AI-powered bank for small businesses in Africa, allowing them to have access to loans, investments, and payment opportunities. We started by doing this by lending to small community groups of women. This enabled us to convince our family and friends to provide us with a $50,000 loan to continue with this new appetite that Lupia had now built traction for while we built the systems and the credit scoring models. Fast track 4 years later, we finally successfully raised $1 million from a venture capitalist to help us scale our operations in Zambia. Thank you. So just the trajectory that Lupia needed to continue its operations to support small business farmers. So much that it caught the attention of the Vice President of the United States of America at the time, Kamala Harris, who we hosted on a smart climate farm that we were supporting with our works. a very defining moment for Lupia and the boost we needed for our trajectory to continue growing our business. We raised additional funding that was supposed to now support us to help us with our Pan-African strategy to help us scale Lupia to Southern and East Africa. And today, I am happy to announce that we have just expanding to Tanzania. We have raised over $15 million in investments today and have processed over $20 million in loans for small SMEs. We are also excited. We are also excited that we have saved over 120,000 customers to date, and out of that demographic, it is women. So today I would like to close with the optimism of building the next Pan-African bank for small businesses and bringing Lupia to Rwanda. We will continue. So we will continue with the important work of scaling finance to women and to start helping them improve their lives. We remain optimistic about supporting women across Africa to build sustainable and resilient businesses. And so Lupia is just a model of what we can do across Africa to start to solve our problems. And as we band together as ecosystems, entrepreneurs, and stakeholders, I remain very excited about the optimism to continue to scale finance to small businesses and to women. Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Evelyn. Truly inspirational to hear how Lupia is transforming people's lives. Now, next up, we have special remarks from our honored guest, His Excellency Wamkele Mene, the Secretary General of the African Continental Free Trade Area Secretariat. Your Excellency, please.
Thank you very much, Madam Program Director, Your Excellency President of the Republic of Rwanda, President Paul Kagame, Governor of the Central Bank, Governor Rwangwambwa, Honorable Ministers, Central Bank Governors from other countries on the continent, our dear friends from Singapore, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Last year, I visited Rwanda 6 times. And the reason is simply this, to be inspired, because this is a country where things get done. And this forum today, and what we've just heard in the previous segment, is a testament to what we can achieve in collaboration with the private sector. And so I'm very honored to be here today to share these very brief remarks. The theme that you have chosen for this session resonates fully with the mandate and the objectives of the African Continental Free Trade Area. Empowering economic inclusion through accelerated technology adoption. And in this regard, we have done the following under the leadership of our heads of states and government. The AFCFTA has introduced, and it was adopted by the heads of states, 2 very important protocols for inclusion. First, the protocol on women and youth in trade. A protocol that I'm particularly proud of because it takes the continent of Africa beyond expressions of aspirations about empowerment for young people and empowerment for SMEs that are led by women. It actually takes us in the realm of legally binding commitments to break down barriers that prohibit market access, that prohibit growth of businesses that are led by young people and women. And so here we are, the first of its kind around the world, a protocol that enables the codification of these aspirations that all of us for many, many years talked about. The second important tool is a protocol on digital trade, which again resonates with the theme that you have adopted. It is also the first of its kind around the world. And I'm particularly proud that our heads of states recently, 2 weeks ago in Addis Ababa, adopted the annexes, which I will talk about briefly. Africa is indeed becoming a major global fintech hub, showcasing rapid growth and promising future potential. With a 32% compound annual growth rate, it is said to be the fastest growing continent in fintech revenue. This projection suggests to all of us that by the year 2030, the African fintech market is anticipated to attain approximately over 65 billion United States dollars, as reported by the Boston Consulting Group. Nonetheless, our objective is to ensure that with this moderate success that we've made as a continent, that all African countries have the opportunity to evolve, to become financial technology hubs in order to accommodate our objective of inclusive growth, inclusive opportunities through digital and financial inclusion, particularly as we seek to accelerate implementation of the AfCFTA. This sector, FinTech, is rapidly transforming the financial services sector on our continent, enhancing financial inclusion and driving economic growth. I believe that the FinTech community, working with the AfCFTA Secretariat as we implement the protocol on digital trade, we have a real opportunity to advance on our shared objectives of digital and financial inclusion. The protocol on digital trade, as I said earlier, is the first of its kind that sets out in a very comprehensive manner regulations that underpin data transfer, data protection, digital payments, consumer protection, digital identities, and of course, supporting emerging technologies. Supporting emerging technologies, and FinTech in particular, is an absolute priority for us from a policy point of view, because we see that supporting FinTech and other technology-driven sectors of our economy, where young Africans are at the cutting edge of digital innovation, we know that we will be creating jobs, opportunities for innovation, and giving our young people an opportunity, such that by the year 2050, when the youngest working force in the world is on our continent, that our continent will be able to navigate the fourth industrial revolution and reap benefits therefrom. And so let me end on this note of a reminder. In May 1963, our founding mothers and fathers convened in the historic city of Addis Ababa. And in the founding documents, the founding treaties, they said that we must create a single market in Africa. They said we must create a seamless payments system, one central bank, a common currency. This is the vision that they set out for all of us. And so through the AfCFTA, I believe our heads of states have taken the very important steps forward of ensuring that that vision of May 1963 does indeed become a reality. The Pan-African Payment and Settlement System is an example of what we as Africans can achieve working together, Afreximbank, African Union, and other private sector institutions that have supported the establishment of the Pan-African Payment and Settlement System. The digital trade protocol that I referred to is embedded deeply embedded in the objective of our founding mothers and fathers to ensure that we have a single market in Africa. And in our case, the protocol on digital trade presents us with an opportunity to have a single digital market in our lifetime. I'm particularly grateful for the partnership with the government of Rwanda, led by His Excellency the President, and other partners, Better Than Cash Alliance, ably led by Nshuti Mbabazi, for their unwavering support in ensuring that, as modest the Secretariat as it is, that we are able to achieve all of these results in the shortest period of time. So I want to once again thank you very much for the opportunity. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Secretary General Bamkele Mene, for those really insightful words about the transformative power of those protocols within this industry that is going to enable financial inclusion for all. And next, we have what we have gathered for this morning, and this is, of course, a very special presidential address on empowering economic inclusion. Please welcome our keynote speaker and special guest of the day, His Excellency Paul Kagame, the President of the Republic of Rwanda.
Honorable Irvin Tan, Minister of State, the Republic of Singapore, Bamkele Mene, Secretary General of the African Continental Free Trade Area, Secretariat, Nick Barije, CEO of Kigali International Financial Center, business leaders, entrepreneurs, partners, friends, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I am pleased to join you for the second edition of the Inclusive FinTech Forum. I welcome you all to Kigali, and we are very happy to have you with us. To begin, I commend the Kigali International Financial Center for continuing to position Rwanda as an attractive destination for investment. This gathering is also a testament to the unique partnership between Rwanda and Singapore to harness the power of the digital economy. We look forward to continuing working together. The story we just heard of the young innovator from Zambia should inspire every entrepreneur to think big, act boldly, and stay focused. Indeed, with our continent's young and tech-savvy population, Africa can compete with the rest of the world and successfully innovate. When you look at our continent's startup ecosystem, fintechs continue to dominate. In recent years, the number of fintech companies in Africa has also tripled. These enterprises, big and small, are fundamentally reshaping our financial services sector. We see this especially with mobile money and remittance services. According to a recent study, fintech revenues in Africa are expected to reach $40 billion by 2028. At the same time, Africa is experiencing a brain drain, with many of our skilled developers leaving our continent to go work abroad. Well, this is really not entirely their problem. They cannot be blamed for that. I think we should be able, some of us, the leaders, to take the blame, partly. Financial inclusion also remains a challenge, and for those who need it the most, particularly women in the informal economy. All of this is happening in the context of global financial constraints. We need to see this as an invitation to put our resources to better use and support each other. Taking ownership of our development is not something we can ask others to do for us. Business founders also need to do their part and gain the confidence of investors. And above all, ask yourself why you and not anybody else is best placed to solve the problem you have identified. In Rwanda, we have made strategic investments in digital infrastructure and skills. Moving forward, creating an enabling environment for business to scale should be our #1 priority. We need a harmonized regulatory landscape, and we must come together to combat cybercrime and fraud. We can also unlock many more opportunities through public-private partnerships and by harnessing the power of artificial intelligence. The bottom line is that we need to work as one team to build a more connected future. I'm confident that we are moving in the right direction. I wish you a very productive meeting, and thank you all for taking your time to be with us. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you, Your Excellency, the President of Rwanda there, and such insightful comments about the need to work as one team to truly make financial inclusion a reality for all around Africa and, of course, around the world. We thank you for your time today, dear President, and are truly honored to have you join us here at the Inclusive FinTech Forum. How wonderful. Please thank the President. And please rise as he makes his way out of the room. We thank the President, His Excellency Paul Kagame, once again. and how truly
nyakubahwa perezida wa repubulika Paul Kagame akaba rero amaze gutangiza ku mugaragaro inama mpuzamahanga ku ikoranabuhanga ridaheza mu rwego rw'ikoranabuhanga. Adams yatangiye ashimira abitabiriye inama ndetse avuga ku mubano w'u Rwanda ndetse na Singapore.
Aha yanabishingiye cyane cyane ku ijambo Minisitiri umunyamabanga wa leta muri Minisiteri y'ubucuruzi ndetse n'inganda n'urubyiruko muri Singapore yaramaze kugarukaho ashimangira ku by'umubano w'u Rwanda na Singapore cyane cyane wubakiye no mu ikoranabuhanga ry'imari ari nabyo iyi nama iri kugarukaho. Gloria,
ibyo kandi nyakubahwa perezida wa repubulika yavuze yuko u Rwanda rukomeje gushyira imbaraga mu kubaka ibikorwa remezo mu by'ikoranabuhanga ariko nanone no kubaka ubumenyi muri byo, anakomoza ku bijyanye n'ubwirinzi mu ikoranabuhanga muri uru rwego rw'imari. Adams
yanagarutse by'umwihariko kuri cya kibazo cy'ubwirinzi mu by'ikoranabuhanga nk'uko umaze kubivugaho, agaragaza ko hakwiye gushyirwamo imbaraga mu kurikaza ndetse no kubaka ubumenyi bw'abato, aho yagaragaje ikibazo cya bamwe mu rubyiruko kuri uyu mugabane wa Afurika bamara kugira ubumenyi bakajya gushakira amaramuko ku bindi bice bigize isi bavuye kuri uyu mugabane, ibigaragazwa nk'ikibazo gikomeye mu ishyirwa mu bikorwa rya za gahunda z'ikoranabuhanga by'umwihariko muri uru rwego rw'imari. Gloria,
Adams, ikindi kintu nyakubahwa perezida wa repubulika yakomojeho yavuze ati ibyo nanone ntabwo dukwiriye kubibarenganyiriza, ahubwo nk'abakuru b'ibihugu dukwiriye kumenya impamvu yabyo tukabishakira igisubizo. Ariko kandi Wankele Mene umunyamabanga mukuru w'isoko rusange rya Afurika nawe yashimye iyi nama, aravuga ati birahura neza n'umurongo w'iri soko rusange rya Afurika.
Ibinagaruka cyane cyane kuri bya bindi twatangiriyeho by'ubuhahirane mu ikoranabuhanga rishobora kwifashishwa mu ishyirwa mu bikorwa ry'iri soko rusange nyafurika, kuko ni isoko rinini, ni isoko rigari. Gloria, rikwiye gutezwa imbere, rikwiye gushyirwamo ingufu, ariko noneho bikagirwamo uruhare n'ikoranabuhanga rishobora guhindura byinshi kuri iri soko by'umwihariko mu buhahirane.
Reka tubashimire mwese mukomeje gukurikira televiziyo Rwanda. Inama y'ikoranabuhanga ridaheza mu rwego rw'imari iyo irakomeje, n'inama y'iminsi 3. Adams ngushimire.
Urakoze cyane Gloria, ngira ngo ibindi kuri iyi nama bazagenda babikurikirana mu makuru yacu ndetse n'ibiganiro bitandukanye.
Murakoze cyane. Njye ndi Gloria Mukamabano, Imana ibarinde.
Could you steer it